All right, let's say we dive in with another reading from The Secret Language of Birthdays book by Gary Goldschneider and Joost Elfers for June 11th, the day of the limit pushers. And here we have a picture of a man with a long horn blowing a bubble. That's right. I wouldn't have imagined that, but hey, you got to imagine something, right? Hey, is it June 11th and it's your birthday? Well, if it is, I just want to say happy birthday. And if you find this video long after your birthday has already happened, I hope you had a happy birthday. And for everyone else who's just joining us randomly, well, welcome, and I hope you enjoy yourself. All right, let's dive in, shall we? Well, your month is June, your day the 11th, your sign is 19 to 21 degrees Gemini of the Gemini III period, the first day of the Gemini III period. And your quality in elements is mutable, air. All right, June 11th, the day of the limit pushers. Those born on June 11th have the courage to push beyond boundaries imposed by either society or nature. Their will to overcome, to go one step further, to break out of limitations, is marked. Therefore, those born on this day may be called expansive and somewhat aggressive personalities. In order to overcome limitations, however, one must recognize them for what they are. To this end, successful June 11 people are students, even scientists, well versed in their field or specialty. They wish to know their subject well and achieve technical mastery of it. Instead of fearing danger, June 11 people often recognize it as a necessary stimulus. And once they have progressed to the limit others have reached, it only remains for them to push on. And this exploration can manifest in any area: business, sports, cooking, sex, drugs, emotional and psychological areas, frightening or criminal experiences, even in raising a family to new heights of excellence. The elements earth, air, fire, and water often are central themes in the lives of June 11 people, whose explorations are themselves elemental. Of course, those who live with June 11 people may share in their trials, but mostly are concerned spectators, for the experiments of those born on this day are a process of self-realization, and ultimately it is their own limits that they are pushing. June 11 people generally do not have the confusing variety of interests and lack of specializations typical of many Geminis. They are most often grounded and studied in one discipline to which they devote all of their energy. Those born in this day are markedly intense, highly competitive people, and their will to win is strong, and rarely do they back down, give in, or desist from the struggle for any reason. They are not types given to early or inactive retirement, but quote unquote bop till they drop, and would rather go out in a blaze of glory than fade away. For those born on June 11th, there are no guarantees of success, nor does insurance against failure really mean much. And for them, it could be said that, quote unquote, the play's the thing. And since they compete with abandon, the question of winning or losing is somehow secondary. Quote unquote, winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. Thus takes on a new meaning. Successful June 11 people function well as team members, but are more often found at the helm. They recognize both the importance of individual effort and the subjugation of ego for the common good. Perhaps this is why they are so often highly admired, even worshipped by members of their group. And nonetheless, June 11 people must beware of overstepping the bounds of society. They not only have a habit of arousing enmity and jealousy, but can appear downright arrogant to some people. Those indeed guilty of such hubris can become truly tragic victims, struck down by their social group, ostracized, and even incarcerated. And those born on this day particularly have a need for humanity that guards their goodness from conceit or extreme egotism. All right, let's dive into those born on this day. But if you're not interested in hearing that, just use the chapters to advance to your numbers, planets, tarot, etc. But I find it's important we drill down on those born on this day so we know what company June 11 people are in. All right, let's dive in, shall we? We have Jacques Cousteau, the French oceanographer, rather. He was a writer and film producer and captain of the Calypso. Jenna Ratkin, she was the first U.S. Congresswoman of Montana, a suffragist and a pacifist. We have Vince Lombardi, the Green Bay Packers football coach, and he led the team to 5 NFL titles. And he won Super Bowls 1 and 2, and he was a supreme motivator. We have Joe Montana, the football quarterback, a 2-time NFL MVP, NFC 5-time passing leader, and the #1 all-time passing efficiency, and he led San Francisco to 4 Super Bowls. We also have Jackie Stewart, a Scottish auto racer and a 3-time world champion, winner of 27 Formula One races, and was also a sportscaster. We have Ben Jonson, the British 17th century playwright, poet, and wit, it says. We have Athol Fugard, South African actor and playwright. Richard Strauss, a German composer. William Styron, a novelist of Sophie's Choice. We have Gene Wilder, the film actor. Rhys Stevens, an operatic mezzo-soprano. John Constable, a British landscape painter. Irving Howe was a literary critic, a Dissent co-founder and writer of World of Our Fathers. Shelley Mann, a jazz drummer and a band leader, also a club owner. Richard Loeb, a Nietzsche-inspired killer of young boy and a wealthy Harvard student who was murdered in prison. We have Michael Kakaioannis, I believe. That's Greek, so I'm not quite sure how to say it correctly, but he was a Greek stage film director, and he wrote Zorba, the Greek, in theme with the Greek thing I mentioned. We have Gary Fennick, Chicago Bears football defensive back. Hazel Scott, jazz singer and pianist. Nina Timofeyev, who's a Russian ballet dancer. And Adrienne Bardot, a TV actress. All right, moving on to your numbers and your planets. Those born on the 11th of the month are ruled by the number 2, as 1 + 1 = 2. And by the moon. And those ruled by the number 2 often make good co-workers, partners, and team players. And the explorative nature of June 11 people may well be tied in with their concerns of their family, work, or social group. June 11 imaginative powers are enhanced by the influence of the moon, which also conveys strongly reflective and passive tendencies. The number 11 lends sensitivity, for the physical plane, which complements well the mental concentration of the sign of Gemini, which is ruled by Mercury. Moving on to your tarot. The 11th card of the major arcana is Justice, a serene, seated woman holding the scales in one hand and a sword in the other. She reminds us of the order of the universe and that balance and harmony will be maintained in our lives as long as we continue on our path. The positive aspects of this card are integrity, fairness, honesty, and discipline. And the negative aspects are low initiative, impersonality, fear of innovation, and grievances. Let's move on to your health. Because June 11 people are often on the move, maintaining a stable diet may be problematic. If fast food or snacks come to be the rule, the health of those born on this day will eventually suffer. Regular meals, regular exercise, and regular physical checkups, a consistent approach to health is what's called for. June 11 people are often workaholics, but since they enjoy their work, this is not so unhealthy as it might sound. However, they must not look on vacations as frivolous luxuries, but as integral and necessary part of their life. And here is some advice. Be aware of the feelings of others. Try to be more sensitive to the wants and needs of your family and friends. And cultivate humility. Don't get so carried away with yourself. Your aggressiveness can attract powerful enemies. And here is your meditation. In his arrogance, man thinks he is capable of destroying nature. All right, your strengths and your weaknesses. Your strengths, you're well-directed, you're positive, and you're diligent. Your weaknesses, you're stubborn, and you're wearing. Your season is spring, and once again, your sign is Gemini, of the Gemini III period specifically, and your quality and element is mutable, air. And this has been June 11th, the day of the limit pushers, from The Secret Language of Birthdays by Gary Goldschneider and Joost. Got an affiliate link for this book down in the description. Give it a click if you're interested in picking up a copy. Makes a great coffee table book, great icebreaker for anyone you might have visiting. And if it was your birthday today, I just want to say happy birthday. And you, once again, if you're joining us randomly, I hope you enjoyed yourself and you come back to see us on your birthday. All right, take care of yourselves.